Hello everybody. Once again, look who has come to join us for our tarot reading. Mr. George, my kitty. He just loves getting up here whenever I bring out the cards. So, let me get into it. Hello everybody, welcome to our weekly reading. This week I thought I would use a really fun summary kind of deck. It's the Vanessa Tarot, and it's just really cute and lighthearted and sunny and fun. So I just thought it would be the perfect deck to use for the season. I hope you're all enjoying your summer so far. It's very hot here in Toronto today. It was hot yesterday. I went to my first day trip to the beach and went for a swim, and it was fabulous. So I hope you guys are enjoying as well. Okay, so as usual, I'm just going to shuffle. I pre-shuffled, but I'm doing another shuffle, and then I will draw 3 cards that will represent the energies surrounding us this week. And I'm telling you, the cards have been popping out of this deck like crazy when I've been shuffling. Apparently there's a lot of messages it wants to impart to many people. So, we'll see what comes up. Okay. Alright, so card 1 will be this card. Card 2 will be this card. And card 3 will be this card. Okay. So, let us see what we drew here. We got the 10 of Wands in reverse. We got the 8 of Swords in reverse. And we got the Page of Swords upright. Okay, so we've got 2 Swords cards here. Let me just zoom in slightly so you can see that better. Okay. So we got 2 Swords cards which indicate our mental processes. The swords have to do with the mind. So our thoughts, our attitudes, our beliefs, the way we communicate our thoughts, our opinions, that kind of thing. And we have a Wands card which is all about inspiration, creativity, activity, passion, putting your efforts, your passion into the world, wanting to express your passion to the world, okay? And we got a 10 here, an 8, and a page. Okay. So let us start with the 10 of Wands in reverse. I will turn it upright so that you guys can see that better. So the 10 of Wands upright is a card about physical and mental exhaustion. It's a card about just really having taken on way too much. Very often it's thought of as a burden, sort of a card that is telling you that you may be burdened with a lot of things. You've got a lot of things on your plate, and you may have taken on too many things, you know, out of a sense of duty or obligation or whatever. And you're just kind of doing it all, and you're coming to the end of the road here. You're coming to a crisis point where, you know, you're just so done that you're just going to drop. You're just about at that point. Now in this card we see this girl here who looks like she's either working or she's a student because she's surrounded by books. And she's a night owl because she's got the nightlight going here. She's working late into the night, could be like 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And she's working away. She's not sleeping. She is continuing to work. And that's what this card is really all about. It's about work. Now, this card in the reverse, as it came up, could mean that you really need to pay special attention to this. Is this what's going on with you? Are you being overworked? Are you overworking yourself? Have you been taking on too much? If this card has come up for you, if you are in that situation, it's telling you you need to take a break. You absolutely need to. This is a crisis point, and if you don't, you're just going to run out of steam anyway, and you're going to drop. So you might as well do it willingly. You know, you might as well take your break voluntarily rather than just kind of let it happen out of physical or mental exhaustion, okay? This could also mean, this card being in the reverse, that it's kind of a lessening of that. It's either you're recognizing this and you're preparing yourself to take a break and to sort of lighten your load, or it's just going to kind of happen naturally, organically. It's just going to kind of, things are going to start to fall away, things are going to start to drop off, you're not going to need to do as many things, okay? Or it can mean that you're just ignoring it, like this energy is blocked, you're not seeing it for what it is. So I guess going back to what I said before about whether you're going to let the break happen naturally or voluntarily, or whether, well, not naturally, voluntarily, I should say, by just recognizing what is going on and allowing yourself that break, or whether you're just going to keep going and going and going until you drop, like the Energizer Bunny. You know, they say the Energizer Bunny keeps going and going and going. Well, even the Energizer Bunny runs out of batteries, as my mouth does apparently. But anyway, yeah, so this is a card about, you know, overwork, overburden, you've been taking on too much, and especially now that the nice weather is here, you want to take a break right now. You want to take a vacation, or you want to take a few days off and enjoy yourself. So if you've been really, really, like, you know, burning the midnight oil and, you know, pushing yourself extra hard to get things done, you might want to think about taking it easy and lightening your load, okay? Now, the Eight of Swords, I think, can relate to this card, and it's also in the reverse. Okay, I'll turn it upright, which is, if it's in reverse, you can see her upright. But she is on this wheel, you know, like one of those, in a magic show, like when one of the tricks was the guy would throw the knives and, you know, have to miss the girl. There she is, she's pinned to this wheel, and she's just kind of, you know, hoping, crossing her fingers that none of these knives are going to hit her, right? The Eight of Swords is about feeling like you're stuck. It's about feeling like you're trapped in a situation, but it's really of your own making, because the swords are a mental suit, okay? So it's more about a kind of a self-imposed stuck, a self-imposed kind of exile, a self-imposed kind of blockage that you've created yourself. And I think it relates to this Ten of Wands card, is taking on, you know, way too much. Taking on things perhaps that are other people's responsibilities, because you're a very responsible, diligent, hardworking person. You may have felt, okay, well, listen, if nobody else does it, I have to do it. And you kind of might feel stuck in this kind of mental pattern, like, oh my God, I have to do it all. But you don't. You don't. Give yourself a break. Take the burden off yourself, okay? It's not your job to do everything for everybody, okay? Your main job is to look out for you, is to look out for, you know, your well-being. And that's not being selfish. That's just common sense. Because if you don't do that, then you're gonna collapse. You're gonna hit the dirt sooner or later. So I think, again, with this card being in reverse, it can indicate one of two things. It can either indicate, again, like you recognize this kind of mental rut that you've gotten yourself into, this sense of feeling like, you know, you're stuck, like you have no choice in a situation, like you're bound by certain things, like you're bound by certain duties or responsibilities, or by certain people. You know, what certain people do or do not do is kind of making you stuck. And you're either recognizing this, and that's why this card is in the reverse, or you are not recognizing it. And as long as you don't recognize something and you don't acknowledge it, you're never going to get out of it. So you're going to stay in that stuck position ad nauseum, okay? So you really need to look at things. I think this reading is very much about looking at things, assessing things right now, what is going on in your life right now, and if you're happy with it. And if you're not, definitely take the steps to change those things, because there's no reason, you don't have to be a martyr, you know, there's no reason you have to be a martyr and kind of sacrifice yourself and your well-being and your happiness for everybody else's convenience. You know, it's just not necessary, okay? Now, our final card is the Page of Swords, and the Page is somebody, a court card. The Page is somebody who is young. As you can see, this cute little figure in this card looks like this little girl with a toy sword. You know, pages are people who are not necessarily young in age, but young in energy, young in attitude, and young in outlook. Okay, so this is somebody who's ambitious, who's got a lot of energy, who's very curious, but who may not have the sophistication of somebody who's older, somebody with more experience. Okay, so this is somebody who is starting out on a new kind of a venture, and this is to do with the mind, to do with the thought, to do with communication, to do with your beliefs and attitudes. And from the way these cards are laid out here, I think the crux of this reading is that we may be feeling like we need to learn, we need to do something new here. It's calling for something, new action, new thought. And I think the trap here that we've gotten ourselves into is the trap of overwork and the trap of thinking that, you know, that we have to take on the burden of everything for everybody else. You know, if you're feeling like you're in that place right now, you need to become this page, and you need to learn new ways of thinking about things and going about things, because, you know, it's not our responsibility to handle everybody's problems, to handle everybody's issues, everybody's everything for them. That is their job, okay? And like I said again, it's not being selfish. It's obviously if you can help somebody without it being too much of a burden on you, then definitely do that. Not saying not to help anybody, but if you're doing it at the expense of yourself and of your physical and mental health, then it's definitely detrimental, okay? And you need to look at that, and you need to change that. And the page is somebody who learns, is learning something new. So you may have been in this pattern for a very long time. You may have found yourself unable to evolve into a knight, a queen, or a king of swords, okay? You might have found yourself stuck in this thinking pattern that's outmoded. It's outmoded, it's outdated, and it's definitely time for a revamp and a change, okay? And I think that's what this reading is all about this week for us. Let me just look at the cards a little bit longer here. Now, as I see this card here, the Eight of Swords, about feeling stuck, like feeling like you are, like you have no choice in a situation, like you're bound by that. You might want to avail yourself of some, you know, new age or kind of self-help books or videos on YouTube or whatever to kind of help you learn about these habitual patterns that we get ourselves into. That could be what this page is referring to, because pages are very often their students as well. And you could be learning something new about this. So you might want to educate yourself about, you know, about people, codependency, you know, feeling like, you know, like your main role in life is to kind of save somebody or to, you know, support them or whatever at the expense of yourself, okay? So it could be about learning about that type of thing, about learning how to overcome the kinds of thinking that keeps us stuck. Anything, not just that, any kind of thinking that keeps us stuck in a situation, okay? With her standing here on this these wooden planks here, kind of reminds me of a gallows for some reason, with the brick wall in the background. It just looks so stark and bare. So it's kind of like, yeah, like, you know, like you're killing yourself, you know, you're killing yourself, and it's time to stop. It's time to stop doing that. It's time to start living your life the way you want to live it. You know, like I said, not to say that you don't have to help out other people, but, you know, not to make that your number one priority. Your number one priority should be yourself, okay? And that is not selfish. It might also be about learning how to stick up for yourself. You know, if you feel like you've been bullied into this position, if you've been bullied into working overtime, maybe your boss has really been kind of overstepping, you know, and really putting it all on you and saying, no, you have to work overtime. You're the only one that can do this. You're the only one I can rely on. You know, you may need to step up to the plate and say, look, boss, I'm happy to help as much as possible, but I really do need a break from time to time. So could perhaps one of my colleagues fill in for me or something like that? It could be about sticking up for yourself and speaking up, communicating. Again, swords are about communicating our thoughts and our attitudes, right? So you may need to speak up more and stick up for yourself more. That's another thing I'm getting strongly here. And the more that you do it, the easier it will become. The more that you do something, the more experience you get with it, the more comfortable you get doing it, right? So that's definitely something to keep in mind as well. Yeah, and like I said, with the gallows, it's almost like she's putting herself in a really precarious position here, okay? You know, she's putting herself at the mercy of the person throwing these knives to make sure that he or she doesn't miss her, right? You don't want to be putting yourself in this position. You don't want to be putting yourself at the mercy of others. Definitely not, okay? So yeah, the more I see this, the more I'm looking at this reading now, I'm getting the main message from this reading is that you need to speak up. You need to speak up, and you need to stand up for yourself, and you need to assert your rights, and you need to assert your thoughts, and you need to speak your mind. You need to speak your mind and speak your beliefs and speak your thoughts. And then all of this stress, or at least some of it, will be alleviated, okay? Because you've been under a lot of stress here. Mental stress and, you know, physical stress, you know, work stress, you know, overexertion, okay? So you definitely need to speak up. You definitely need to speak up. That is the main message I'm getting from this reading. And you don't have to do so, when you do speak up, you don't have to do so in an aggressive, angry, hostile way. That's exactly not the way to go about it. You want to go about it in a very calm, common sense, rational, logical way. Just explaining to these people, person or persons, hey, you know, this is the way things are for me right now. I've been doing this, I've been doing that, and I really feel overworked and overburdened here. I need a break, so I need somebody else to pick up the slack. And you don't need to be, you know, fly off the handle and make a big drama out of it. Just speak the truth, speak the facts. The swords are all about the truth and the facts, okay? As well as the mind. But, you know, anything to do with the mind, it's got to do with the truth, the facts, the black and white of a situation, okay? So guys, that is what I am getting for our reading this week. Hey, take a break, relax, enjoy the beautiful weather, okay? Don't let it pass you by. Don't be in here like this woman working away while everybody else is at the beach and having a great old time, okay? Life is meant to be lived, enjoy it, and, you know, you are a priority. Make yourself a priority and do what needs to be done for your well-being, okay? So guys, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Please give me a thumbs up if you did like the video. If you would like to go over to my Facebook page, I will link that below. Please give me a like. I would appreciate that. I'm also on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter. If you would like to order a reading from me, I have several available. Please go on over to my website. I will link that in the description box below. And you can check out my services tab. It will tell you all the kinds of readings I do and how I do them. I would absolutely love, love, love to work with you. So please don't hesitate to drop me a line if you're interested in a personal private reading from me. Okay, so guys, have a wonderful week. I hope you enjoy the weather. I hope you enjoy the beach, whatever it is you love to do. Just enjoy yourselves, okay? Have a good one. I will see you again next week for another reading. Bye for now.